Well, the third Kenya Investment Conference is taking place this weekend, bringing together more than 2,000 delegates from around the world to discuss how to deepen trade not only in Kenya but around Africa. Well, this week on Inside Government, we're talking to the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Investment Promotion, Abubakar Hassan Abubakar. Our conversation will revolve around how to make Kenya an investment-friendly destination and among other issues. Thank you very much indeed, Bwana PS, for joining us.
Thank you, Brian.
First of all, how would you describe the current Kenya investment climate?
Well, it's increasingly business and investor-friendly than what we had before. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What has brought about that change?
It's because of the investor confidence. Yeah, I think when this administration came into being, people believe what our president says. What he says, he means it. So if he says he will do something, he's determined to deliver it. And that is what brings investor confidence for them to invest. And it brings about, if you see during the AmCham conference, the president pronounced like 10 pro-business reforms, which have all of them featured into his finance bill, which is going to deepen the investment landscape in this country.
You see, the fact that the government has set a whole State Department, for investment promotion. I mean, it goes on to show, the importance the government attached to investing in Kenya. What is the role of your department?
Okay, basically my mandate is to implement investment policy. We have a Kenyan National Investment Policy 2019, and also to coordinate the promotion of private investment into the Kenyan economy. Yeah, with both foreign and direct and domestic investment, with the aim of making our country, positioning our country to be a preferred, a premier investment destination. Mm-hmm. And we have a target. We've been given a target of $10 billion US dollar in terms of FDI. That's the mandate of our department. So what we have done so far, we have tried to recast and retool our investment promotion framework or agenda into three-pronged strategies in doing that. So we have an investment attraction strategy, we have investment facilitation strategy, and investment enabling strategy. Okay. So under each strategy we have sub-strategies. So and that is where Kieko is falling under the investment attraction strategy. We have three sub-strategies. One is to enhance our investment and business climate. We need to make sure our country is competitive, and the president is doing all his best to make this country the most competitive country in Africa. But that is not enough. You cannot just sell an investment climate or a business climate. But business wants to see deals, actual deals to invest in, not only the environment. So our second sub-strategy or strategic initiative is to develop investment-grade opportunities. So all these opportunities we are seeing around, we are coming up with a mechanism and a program to properly define them, properly structure them, package them nicely to make them, I usually call it bankable. So it is only a bankable product that will attract an investor. So we have that is a second strategic initiative under the investment attraction strategy. The third one is about now aggressive marketing or campaign of both our investment climate and the investment grade opportunities found in Kenya. And one way of marketing or campaigning for that is hosting of such events. The Kenya International Investment Conference, and it's a platform where as a country we are going to showcase our investment climate, our investment grade opportunities, and also engage with the potential investors to see how we're going to do that matchmaking based on our needs and their interest, based on our the potential in our needs, and based on their capacity to take advantage of those opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at the three broad strategies, how do they feed into each other?
Okay, good. So the first one is investment attraction. So once you are attracted with our investment climate, with our investment grade opportunities, then you need to be facilitated. right? So that's where the second strategy comes in. So our investment facilitation framework is we are having a one-stop center at Kenya Invest, where you can access this opportunity easier, quicker through that mode. And we have structured it into a way that if you're not satisfied with one-stop center which is hosted at Kenya Invest, you can appeal. There's an escalating framework. You can appeal now to the PS, investment promotion. If the investor is still not satisfied, you can appeal to the minister in charge of investment who sits at the cabinet. So you can coordinate with other ministers with respect to investors' issues which cannot be resolved quickly. If also the investors are not happy, then the president has operationalized a National Investment Council, chaired by himself, with a sole mandate of removing impediments and creation of incentives. So that means the investor, you can see the full journey on your investment facilitation, and if there is any problem in your way, it will go all the way to the president himself, and you'll get the final answer, whether it will happen or not. And of course, it will happen. However, for investment which are impactful, they are transformative impact. We are coming with the framework is once you register, and by the way, registration is optional, but we want to make it mandatory because we can't do aftercare on any investment if we don't know you first. So we need to know you. So we are coming up with we want to amend the law so that the investors first registers for free, so that we can do a good aftercare program. So once we are screening your investment and we think it's very transformative, we take you directly to the interministerial committee so that your investment can be coordinated quickly. And of course, if there is a problem, the last resort is the National Investment Council, which is chaired by His Excellency, the President.
And you're talking about making Kenya an investment attractive destination. What is this one thing that is so attractive about this destination that we call Kenya?
We have an attractive package. As I had said earlier, you cannot attract if you're not attractive. Yeah, we believe we have attractive, and we have an attractive package, which we are going to showcase in the Kenya International Investment Conference. However, the first, let me just pick the first three. For those who believe maybe that geography is destiny, we have a geostrategic advantage. We are geographically placed in the continent of Africa, at the heart of Africa. The way Kenya is, you can see how it is placed. So it's the heart of Africa and a gateway to the rest of Africa, just because of its strategic positioning. But in addition to that, we have political stability and economic stability. So that the first three things which we are going to sell to the investor. However, where the rubber meets the road, the investors, they look for factors that influence their decision. Is one, what are the natural resources or the raw materials they will get in such a country. Two is of course the investment and business climate, and three is market access. So those are the three things which investors, they influence their decisions of investors. So as long as the raw material or the natural resources of this country, the best raw material is our human capital. Very youthful, educated, skillful, entrepreneurial, innovative, and affordable. And I was in another forum another day, and we were told they are even good looking. So that's a good feature to where the investors will look into. But also there are most of the FDI or investments are looking for energy, they call net emission strategy. They want to come into the country because they have that goal. So in our country, 92% of our energy is renewable, which will help in their climate change agenda. So as far as the resources, natural resources are concerned, about the investment and the business climate, you're aware the World Bank has ranked us number 3 in terms of ease of doing business. Basically, we are number 1 because that is substance over form. Number 1 and 2 is Rwanda and Mauritius. So if you look at the economic size, you cannot compare. So we are basically number one in terms of ease of doing business. But even the World Economic Forum has ranked Kenya as the most innovative nation in Africa. And also in terms of venture capital deals, we are leading in Africa. But let me do the third one, the market access. When you come to Kenya, you have a population of 50 million market with a GDP of 110. But Kenya is also a member of this regional economic bloc, EAC. So if you invest in Kenya, you can also access the East African region, like almost 300 people with a GDP of around... Yes, 300 million people, yeah? But we are also a member of COMESA, so that is 500 million people. And right now, our ministry is working on a framework where we're going to have a tripartite free trade agreement, where COMESA, EAC, and SADC is coming together so that all that can be a market tax. We are also aware of the FTA, with 1.3 billion people with a 3.4 billion GDP. So that is a market access you're going to get as far as Africa is concerned. However, as a country, we also have access to the US through the AGOA program, to the UK where we can supply our goods duty-free and quota-free. So those are the attractive features which we are going to sell to the investors.
And so by investing in Kenya, you're not only accessing the Kenyan market.
Yes.
It's just giving you access to the EAC, to COMESA, to SADC, to the African continent through the free trade area agreement, and of course to other markets like the US through AGOA, and also the strategic investment negotiations that are currently taking place with the US.
Yes.
And so you're also talking about bankable projects.
Yes.
What are these bankable projects?
What the bankable means, or what are the bankable projects?
Yeah, what are these bankable projects?
Okay, so whatever bankable means something which is ready to lend. When you get an investment opportunity, most investors they will have to look for financing. So the project must not only be. Most projects are socially viable, technically viable, but are not economically viable, right? But to make it bankable, it has to be financially viable, so that even if you get loans, you can do the investment, pay back the loan, and still have something. So in our country, we have the 5 priority areas which are the key of of the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. That is in the agricultural sector, the health sector, the housing sector, and the affordable housing sector, in the digital space, and also in the MSME development. So out of that, and especially in the agricultural sector, we have other value chains like the livestock value chain, the textile value chain. So we have broken down into the sectors and the value chains. And what we are doing as a department, we are looking at what are the competitive issues, in terms of cost, in terms of the market, and identifying what are the issues and addressing them to make them competitive, those value chains, and also now structure investment opportunity in those areas and in those value chains. And we have a pipeline of around 300 projects which are now hosted at Kenya Investment Authority.
And I know the government has also been, very keen to deepen investment in the leather and textile industry, the green energy, the agro-processing. And you're talking about, attracting FDI up to about 10 billion USD in the next 5 years.
In fact, we have said this year. That is the target. It looks unrealistic, but it's a challenge that we are willing to take.
You want to move from 650?
The actual FDI for previous year is 448 million.
448?
Yes, and we want to take
this
it to 10 billion US dollars.
Tell me, what kind of magic do you plan to do that?
There's no magic. It's just we are committed. We operate under the principle of 5 Ps, which I think the president is telling us to do. We have a purpose. We are passionate about it. We are positive that we are going to do it. We have a plan. And the last P, we have prayers. We have God, and God will take care of that. We are deliberate, and we are determined to deliver on that target. Even if we don't deliver, God forbid, we will have broken the record of FDI in the Kenyan history. Because let me tell you about this FDI market. it's a 1.6 trillion market. Yeah, out of that, 83 billion US dollars came to Africa the last year, according to the World Economic Report. Yeah? Out of the 8.1 billion US dollars came to the East African region.
Yes.
Out of that, half of it went to Ethiopia. So Kenya just did 448 million US dollars, not even 500. We are just approximating. But if you look at the trend in the Kenyan perspective, in 2018, it is when we got the highest, and that is 1 billion US dollar. And it has been dwindling like this to 448. So the president has asked us to reverse that trend. So the highest ever FDI was immediately after the passing of the Kenyan constitution in 2011, which was 2.1 billion US dollar. And then 2018, it was 1.1. Then it has been dwindling like this. So we believe that we are going to break the record of 1.1. That was before the handshake. So it shows that handshake is not good for investment, because with the handshake, the investment was going like this. But we are going to we are going to break the 1.1 billion record, and we are also going to break the 2.1 billion. That was the best ever in the Kenyan history.
So the whole target is, first of all, to breach the previous records.
Yes.
And, of course, set a new record.
Yes.
But aren't we being overambitious, when you're talking about, jumping from 440-something million to 10 billion US dollars in 12 months?
It's a challenge we're willing to take, and we are unwilling to postpone, because there is no time. We need the money. If you look at the FDI stock, the foreign stock, the first is we have in Kenya, we have $6 billion in terms of exports. The second in the forex stock is diaspora, which is 4 billion. Yes, the diaspora remittance. The third one is tourism. They bring like 2 billion US dollars. The last one is the FDI, around 448. So I think we just need to do something, and we believe we are going to do it.
And of course, for you to address a challenge, first of all, you must understand it.
Yes.
And diagnose the problem.
Yes.
What would you say has been the problem when it comes to FDIs into Kenya? Because, the trends in the last 5 years has been a downward spiral.
It's basically investor confidence, and this is a trust issue. Yeah, and if the investors trust that what unasema na kutenda, they believe that whatever you say you will do it, they will come. And I think we can see we are changing that trend. Yeah, this year we have just closed the Moderna 500 million US dollars. So we have closed.
Already leapfrogged.
Yes.
The investment for last year.
We have the United Green in Kisumu, 250 million US dollars. We have Taifa Gas in Dogundu, another 200 million US dollars. You see, that one, so we have already reached a B already. So we believe we are going to break the record, and it's all about, as far as I'm concerned, is the investor confidence, which the investors believe what our president is saying. Even before to go to what he's going to do, they believe him. And whatever he says, he means it. And that is why we are saying we are not only open for business, we are ready for business, because we have all the infrastructure, but we mean business.
Let's look at the upcoming investment conference. I mean, this is that time that Kenya is hosting this critical meeting. How do you plan to use this platform, to tell the world that Kenya is ready for business?
Okay, first we are going to tell the world that why Africa and why Kenya, right? And two, we want to use that platform not only to sell B2G, because we have priority areas we want investors to invest in, but we want it to be a B2B. So we have a lot of private sector from Kenya who has already seized of these opportunities. What they're looking for is for partnership. So we are going to make sure we are matchmaking them. Yeah, so that even as the FDI is coming, there is that integration with our local enterprise, so that we don't have that dispute between FDI and the DDI, where you saw for the China Square. And we don't want our people to complain. We want to make sure we have a mechanism for partnership between our domestic investors and foreign investors.
And you see, when we talk about a foreign direct investment, I mean, a lot of what comes into mind is investment or international investment that is outside Africa. And we forget that we also have investors in Africa who are looking at investment opportunities here in Africa. How do we plan to tap that?
We have a desk. We have a desk for Africa investment. So we believe that even Africa, we call it FDI, so long as it is not in the domestic EAC. Right, so we have a desk for Africa, we have a desk for US, we have a desk for UK, we have a for the GCC. So we have like 10 desks, which are our priority areas, where we believe we are going to get our 10 billion US dollar target.
As we come to the end of this interview, when you look at the long-term prospects for Kenya in the investment area, what conclusions do you make?
In terms of?
When you look at it, when you look at investment in Kenya in the next 5 years,
yes,
how do you see it looking like?
I think in the next 5 years, Kenya will be the most competitive country in Africa. We are going to be the best country from the south of Sahara through the Limpopo, the river Limpopo, to the end of Nile. And we are committed to do that. We will be the most competitive in terms of investment and business climate. And we have a strategy, we have a plan to make sure that happens. So that is my commitment as far as this mandate I was given by the president is concerned.
And what is the message to the investors who are watching this program?
What is the message? That there's something happening in Kenya, and many people have figured it out. So you either tag along or you will be dragged along. And you are not going to regret if you invest in Kenya.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed, Bwana PS, for joining us on Inside Government, and of course sharing with us your insights on investment promotion in Kenya.
Thank you very much.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be talking to the PS in the State Department for Investment Promotion, Abubakar Hassan Abubakar, on Kenya's investment climate and of course the upcoming Kenya Investment Conference. Remember, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation is the official media partner for this upcoming and critical event. My name is O'Brien Kimani. You have been watching Inside Government. Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon.